today is March 26, 2015, and I last made a couple of clips about Gary Goldsmith, and how he was also involved in some of the programming of me and exploitation of me sexually, and I had hesitated to say rape because, well, I had to think about everything that I talked about and then reflect on what parts, the parts of things that I had said, and then it kind of refreshed my memory on other things. And I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not, and it's not like I'm needing time to include, exaggerated stories or anything either. I hope that, well, I've already talked about a lot of these things, and there are many people in different parts of the world who do know that some of these things, they were witnesses to some of it, and they do know that these things happened to me. So, does it mean that if they were witness to one particular thing that happened to me, that they should believe and trust every single word that I ever say? No, I wouldn't ever say that. I wouldn't say anyone should trust every single word I ever say, because on occasion, I make mistakes too, just like anyone. So, sometimes I've been uncertain about something. There are people on the property. So, my dog is not going to stop barking until they're gone. Oh, they're leaving. I don't believe it. Oh, that's very good. Okay, so maybe I can continue here. Nanette, quiet. Nanette, come here. Nanette, come. Good girl. So, they were yelling for their dog Princess, because they have a dog named Princess that's often getting lost. Nanette! Nanette! Come! Nanette! Come over here. Come here. Nanette, be quiet. Come here. You get a treat if you're quiet. Be quiet. Okay. Here you go. Look. And so anyway, what I was saying is that Nanette, stop barking. They're not here anymore. Come over here. So anyway, I was talking. Anyway, so that don't, obviously, most of the time I'm pretty sure about things, and I'm very accurate. And if I've said sometimes, I hesitate to say, or I think, but I'm not completely positive, then it might be that that's the case. So, I really wish more people who are really, could, I don't know. Sometimes I wish that I had been older so that I could remember more too, but I don't think that being older had anything to do with it. Maybe, possibly it would have, but I think sometimes the main thing that interfered with what I was remembering is the fact that they were constantly drugging me. And if I wasn't being tortured or drugged, my memory was really good. So anyway, if she doesn't stop barking, I'm going to have to stop this one and make it. So what I was saying about Gary is that at first I didn't really remember him being involved with rape of me, but just with an assassination programming attempt, and then potentially trying to make me look bad along with Middleton to have me look like I was a prostitute, or that I would agree. I was the type of person that would agree to being a prostitute for no other reason than to just make money. You know, not for a government reason or faking it or pretending or whatever. They were maybe trying to have me just look sleazy. And I think that it's important for me to include this part about Gary Goldsmith because a lot of people that did really horrible things to me, you know, they did secure a certain position for themselves eventually. And I don't think that I agree with what, I don't agree with it. I know that a lot of violence has occurred and people have died. And I don't believe that, you know, every time I was tortured or raped, just because they said it was about Middleton, you know, Katie Middleton, I don't believe that that's true. I already know that I was getting tortured and had bad things happen to me before she was even born. So I don't blame, I blamed her as a kid when I was a kid. But, you know, as an adult, of course, I'm not going to blame her as a kid back then. Although I think that she has, she's become part of the system. And so, you know, at some point when she was a teenager, she became responsible for herself. And I do think she's part of their corruption. So I don't agree with, what their circle has done. And as I was thinking about more of what happened with the Goldsmiths and everything, I did remember how I was set up to be gang raped. So I was gang raped, and then I was also made to look like a prostitute in Colombia, and then they made it look like they were helping me, but I don't really think that they were helping me. They made it appear as though they were rescuing me from a bad situation after I was in Colombia, when really they had allowed me to be over there in Colombia having porn taken of me and people doing bad things, and then wanted to make themselves look good and then have me feel for a brief moment like I was doing something good for other women. And then all of that combined with the fact that they had something to do with Alvaro Pardo, and that Alvaro Pardo then introduced himself to me when I was trying to get my son back, and interfered with that whole process and raped me and basically essentially held me hostage. And when I think about how he's connected to the Middletons, you know, and then I get thrown into a mental ward and drugged out of my mind. I mean, I almost died. I think I possibly could have died at this psych place that they put me in for supposedly an evaluation, but they didn't evaluate me. They just started dragging me like the second I was in their doors. And the reason I think I could have died is because of the level of drugs that they were giving me. And the fact that I didn't even take all the drugs that they were trying to have me take because I was trying to hide some of it. And I successfully managed to hide a lot of it for a while. And I was getting really overdosed. And then when I later asked for the medical records, I looked at what they were saying that they were giving me, and they were lying. They were saying they were giving me a lot less. I'm just noticing now this is like a fuzzy. I don't know what happened to the lens on this. Anyway, they were giving me really high doses of things, but they were claiming that I was getting a lot less. I mean, like half the amount that I was being given. So, and that what I'm referring to is when I was detained briefly over my claims that I went in because of internal bleeding and I had broken my knee, and I did get evidence eventually that I did have broken knee and some problems. So so I wasn't. Anyway, it's a. I'm just suddenly wondering, how do I even explain the entire situation adequately? Because also in that situation, that occurred after I broke up with Alvaro, who knew that Middleton's. And I'm trying to think of how I would explain everything, because when I was in the hospital when I went there just to be evaluated for my knee and everything, some of the people who were there were individuals who were connected to the Goldsmiths and Middletons and U.S. persons in Nashville, Tennessee. And one of the Pellys, I think, like Guy Pelly's mom or dad or some sort of relative. And actually, that was a situation where I think, I am not positive, but I think that he was there as a little kid. And he's recently, I guess, married someone from Memphis, Tennessee, but this was not in Memphis. This was in Nashville. I guess maybe possibly they knew some people over there already. But I know that through the Wilsons, somehow there were a lot of different connections to England. So anyway, so I've just mentioned briefly, giving you some framework for the fact that I was gang raped in a situation that Gary Goldsmith was involved in. And then again, humiliated and exploited in Colombia. And then also, people played off of that in the United States as well. So I think in the next clip I'm going to describe kind of one by one how these different things came about and how the Middletons were involved in that. And you know, it makes me afraid for my kids because of the kinds of things that they've been involved in. And you know, it's not just them, there are others as well. But you know, I don't want my family, my kids, to be anywhere around any of those people, any of the people that I've had to be around, or that I was around when I was a kid, and all those horrible things were happening to me. So anyway, I'm going to start the next clip off with talking about how what was going on over in England with the gang rape and some of the people that I've already mentioned that were involved. I already kind of talked about it, but I didn't mention the rape part that occurred as well. And they were making a joke out of it too. So I'll describe that in the next